What's up, everyone? I just got done watching Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, and this movie is full of idiots. It is a sequel to Paranormal Activity 4. I like this one better than Paranormal Activity 4 because there's no dumb parents, but almost everyone in this movie, like I said just a couple seconds ago, is a freaking moron. Alright, so first of all, we have the characters of, I want to say her name is Marlo, then we have Hector, and then we have Jesse, who is the main character. The movie starts out with him graduating from high school, and we see this other boy named Oscar, who graduated valedictorian, and then we see how he lives, where he lives, and how he lives in this tiny apartment, and there's this girl, or there's this woman named Anna, who supposedly people say is a witch. So they say that they hear moaning all the time, or they hear weird noises, and when him and his friend Hector are being dumb and chilling with his cool grandma, they hear a weird noise, and then they hear moaning, and then they decide, because Hector got a camera, and the reason why they're carrying around a camera in this one is just because Hector films everything, or not Hector, but Jesse likes to film everything, because when they were at his graduation party, his dad was filming it, and he's like, I like this camera, so he decides to get one, and he's filming everything. There's no setting up security cameras. It's all handheld, found footage. It's kind of like Grave Encounters. There's no night 1, night 2, night 3. There's nothing like that. And because the guy gave him another camera for free, Hector and Jesse decide to do this idea where they take this other camera and they slide it down the vent, because there is a vent, because she's on the bottom and he's on the top, and he sends a camera down to see what's going on. And the very first thing we see is Hector's like, oh my gosh, dude, this girl's freaking naked. She's freaking naked. And she's just standing there. She's butt naked. And then we see Anna, who I didn't want to see naked, and But anyway, she starts drawing this circle and this triangle in blood on the girl's stomach. And so then, after this, Jesse gets really stupid and actually gets this little kid to scream and call her a witch, because they were saying the word bruja, which I learned from Batman Arkham Asylum. Bruja is Spanish for witch. By the way, this one I think takes place in California or something like that. So she starts, when little kid's doing this, the lady wasn't home, and she starts screaming in Spanish, and then Hector's like, what did she say? And he's like, you don't know what's going to happen to you, and stuff like that. So then when Hector and Jesse are being dumb again, setting off a firecracker near the apartment, they see Oscar, who runs from the building and jumps and just runs for his life, and then we see that Anna has been murdered. So then they decide to sneak in a dead person's apartment, and they find all this creepy stuff. There are connections to the other... Actually, there's only a connection to the first 2 Paranormal Activity movies, or the first 3. There's the videotape that has both Christy and Katie's name on it. And it's from 1958. So, they find all this weird stuff. And then one of the other things they find is they find this journal that has instructions on how to open a door, and they think is a brilliant idea to actually make a door. And I'm not talking about a wooden door. I'm talking a door to the spiritual realm. They go to this abandoned church, and they do this chanting and everything, and then things get weird. Hector leaves, though, because he just didn't want to be there anymore, but they try to, while this is going on, they try to do some character development between Jesse and Marlisa, or I can't remember her name, even though I just watched the movie. But it's interrupted by supposedly a spirit. They go around in the church, and they start hearing noises. They go deeper and deeper, and they find this bathroom, and they hear noises in the stall. They check every one except this one that's locked. And so they start banging on it, and then it starts banging on it. And this is the only thing I think that Ghost was thinking. Hey, I'm trying to take a dump here. You want to knock? Fine. How do you like it? Get out of here. I'm pooping in the dark. Wouldn't you hate if you're just sitting there just taking a dump? La 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 la. Da da da. What? Wouldn't you hate that? I know I certainly would. So they run out, and then after that they just they do a lot more stupid stuff. And when it comes to this, you don't mess around with this crap, because it's basically like with Christopher Titus saying, "Hi, you've just instigated your own mugging. Come on down." So one night, Hector and Jesse are going to play basketball, and then they start to get mugged. Oh, I almost forgot. This movie should not have been called Paranormal Activity, The Marked Ones. This one should have been called Paranormal Activity, The Revenge of Simon Says. Because they basically turned Simon Says into a freaking Ouija board, okay? And... okay, like... Hector starts to play it, but then Jesse starts playing it, and it won't work. So he starts saying, what's going on? Are you going to work? And then it blinks green for yes. And then they start asking it a bunch of questions like, is Jesse handsome? Green, yes. But they're like, well, what if it... trying to ask it something just to make sure it's not just answering yes. And then they're like, is Hector black? No. So then they realize there is a spirit through Simon Says. Guys, forget the Ouija board. Simon Says is the true home of the devil. No wonder I couldn't beat it as a kid. It's playing with the devil. You're competing against the devil. No wonder. Guys, don't get Simon Says. Whatever you do, even if it's like the new model where you put your hands in the holes, you're playing with Satan, okay? This is clearly trying to tell us that Satan is in Simon Says. Like the way the Ark of the Covenant was the way of talking to God, Simon Says is the way of communicating with the freaking devil. Ah! So, a lot of things start happening. Like Jesse all of a sudden experiences that he's basically protected. He does a trust fall, something catches him. He goes higher, something catches him. When he's getting mugged and he tries to block one of the guy's punches, it sends one robber through a vending machine, and it sends another far across the park. So then he starts asking the questions again. Did you mess up those guys at the park? Yes. Are you my guardian angel? No. Are you good? No answer. So then they start so then his dad is like, look, I'm really worried about you. You're not sleeping, you're not eating. I hear you at night. So then they decide to go and talk to Oscar's. They go and talk to Oscar's brother, and he shows them his room, and there's like all this pentagram stuff, and like it's all about how all the firstborn's mothers died at birth, because Jesse's mom died at birth, and so did Oscar's mom. But Oscar was adopted. So one night when Jesse and Hector are just driving around, they go to this party and they pick up these two girls, and when they do, they're at the house where the woman was murdered. Idiots. And when Jesse is going to go get a condom, this hatch in the floor gets opened up, and I swear I thought this was Jesse just being a douche, but an arm comes up and drags the girl down, and it just really freaked me out. But then later on they go back down there and they find that there's this it's not really a sanitarium. It's like a worship place. It's got Jesse's picture. It's got his baby pictures. A picture with Anna and his mom. And then they start talking more about how Anna was possibly a witch. Stuff like that. So then Jesse starts going through some changes. And because they're so worried about him, there was a girl on this on the wall, and Hector grabbed the number. So he calls her. And when they meet and talk with her, we finally get what that triangle with the circle means. It's the sign of the midwives, which is a coven of witches who get women pregnant, and the firstborn is prepared, is left alone until it's time to get possessed, which is what happened with Jesse. And also, I went and watched the first Paranormal Activity again, and after watching how Jesse got bit, because not only did Jesse get bit, Oscar had the mark too. And I noticed, wait a minute. After I watched the first one, Katie got bit. So I was like, okay, they are connecting it, which is good. Then, like I said, Jesse starts going through some changes. He becomes sadistic, even torturing his little dog. Like, he's not like choking it to death, but he's holding it up up on the ceiling, and the dog's like freaking out, and he's just laughing. And I cannot watch little animals get tortured. I really can't. So then the grandma notices that something bad is going on, so she goes to a priest or something, and he tells her how to help him. But when she does this thing with the eggs, he crushes her hand, and we get this scene that I really thought was really stupid. They're in the living room, like the lights go out, and then the lights come back on, and then like a hole in the wall opens, or it's like a void from another realm or something. I just kind of thought it was really pushing it. But like when it opens back up, like Jesse does this demonic roar, and then the grandma starts praying for him, and then he wakes up and he's sweating. And then this is how Jesse escapes. He throws his grandma down the stairs, and so Hector and the girl are like, all right, Hector's like, no, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to go get him, because the girl called and said this is where Jesse's going to be, because they're going to perform another ritual, and when they do, Jesse won't be Jesse anymore. But instead, he's like, no, we're going to go tell his dad everything, but their car dies. And then Jesse starts attacking, but when he starts attacking Hector, the girl gets an aluminum baseball bat, which Hector had in the back of the car, and hits him in the head. And I actually thought it was kind of funny because she barely hit him, but it still knocked him out cold. But when this happens, they're driving him to the hospital. They get hit by a car, and the people who hit them come and take Jesse away. So then they decide to go get the gangsters, and this is honestly what I thought was pretty smart. The guys bring guns, and then they go to this mansion, and then they find that this is where they're having the seances and everything, and they find that they have this girl captive, I guess for the next pregnancy or something, but then all the witches come out with knives, and we see the gangster get a shotgun and blow them away. But this is when things get worse, because they get separated, and when they get separated, the girl disappears, and Hector's by himself in this house with these witches after him. They drop the girl's body right in front of him, and then he runs into Hector, but he's not stupid. Now, they did make his character kind of like the best friend who will do anything really, or he's gullible. He's easy to talk into things to do. Like in the beginning of the film, they had Jesse tricked him into getting into a laundry basket and riding down the stairs, or eating a taco with all these hot peppers. Just stuff like that. So when he locks the door, Jesse tries to trick him. He's like, come on, man, I'm scared, open the door. He's like, I'm not opening the door, man. And then instead of doing that, Jesse just is like, fine. And he breaks down the door. And then this is what I thought was really weird. He opens this other door, and he's in this garage, and then he walks in this house, and then he turns around, and then there's Katie. From the first movie, like in the attire of the last scene of the first movie, white t-shirt, boxers, and then she goes into the kitchen, and he's trying to ask her, he's like, can you please help me? I don't know where I am. Please, can you help me? Can you help me? Then she screams Mika. Mika comes down. She kills Mika, and then Jesse ends up killing Hector, and then the movie ends with a witch picking up the camera and turning it off. Now, I didn't understand this at first, but then I went and watched the first Paranormal Activity again, and I watched the original ending, but then I watched the alternate ending. And the alternate ending, you can hear more voices, because when I watched it, at first I thought there is no way she could have punched Mika all the way. She couldn't have punched him so hard and so quick that he would bounce back into the bedroom. So after watching it, I realized she went down to the kitchen, she killed him in the kitchen, dragged his body, and then threw it. After watching that, I was like, okay, that makes the ending make more sense. She killed Mika, dragged his body, and then threw it at the camera. Guys, this one is better than Paranormal Activity 4. I'm thinking this is the last one. It was okay. You know, besides the fact that people in this movie are freaking morons. Because, yes, obviously, hey guys, you know what? We just seen some creepy witchcraft stuff. Let's go and mess with this stuff and possibly endanger our lives. Is everyone in this movie a freaking idiot? If I could do clips in this video, I would have a clip that, or if I had the Blockbuster Buster help me with this, and if I asked if everyone in this movie was an idiot, I would ask him to put that clip where everyone goes, yes? Because seriously, everyone in this movie except the grandma and the dad are freaking idiots. And, Jesse's sister. She's good looking. She's not stupid. There's my dog. But guys, I give this, in my opinion, this is, here's the order that it goes for me. 1, actually no, 3, 1, 2, this one, and 4. I think 4 is the worst in the series. This one is just, besides the fact that all the characters are freaking morons, it's, you don't need to watch it, but if you want to know how the story and everything's connected together, it's good to watch it. Other than that, don't waste your time. Guys, this has been another episode of Phenomenal Views. I hope you guys have had a Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys have a Happy New Year. Put in the comments below, what did you think about Paranormal Activity, the marked ones? Did you have to watch it more than once to get everything to sync up? I certainly did. Comment below and let me know.